Do you think PaperX violates many of your coaching principles with how instinct-based they are set up? And I feel often Alex doesn't have real coaching control over his team. The thing I'd say about a good coach just has a vision. If your vision of the game isn't my vision of the game, that's fine. But you have to have an extremely strong vision and back it up. And Alex's vision for coaching and the game is just different than mine. I think that mine does make sense, and at times more sense. But then at the same time, I think PaperX are set up to be a team that, if they just added that 10%, could be the best team of all time easily. Do you have a good vision for what you want to do, and does it suit your team? And so I do think that there's stuff that they do that kind of would be the opposite of what I would do. I feel similar. I feel Alex isn't the right coach to PaperX to achieve the max potential. You're missing my point completely. The point I've made is that Alex has helped the team get to where they are right now, which is probably the second best team of all time. You could easily argue the best team of all time, but I think they're probably the second best team. And then there's a little bit of their game that could be improved. Like if they can find how to put that 10% in and somehow trick themselves into adding that 10% that's not their usual style, they will be the best team of all time. But I don't know if they've not shown yet they can add it. They didn't really add it with me, and they've not added it with Wendler yet. You should be forcing discipline in situations that absolutely need discipline. PaperX should be forcing discipline in moments where it's absolutely necessary. You're trying to always maximize your percentage chance to win a round, right? And if you do think about, like, if you're like, oh, this is like, you're 1% better to win the round if you do this play rather than this play, you're probably going too far. But if it is like literally, there's like a fucking 15% chance difference to winning this round, or a 20% chance difference, like if you play it properly, then like you should be taking those huge percentages. And unfortunately, PaperX often don't. Like, I think if you did the percentages for, like, let's say a 5v3, I reckon someone smart would probably tell me that a 5v3 is probably like at least a 70% chance to win the round, at least, I'm being very conservative here. They'll play 5v3s as if it's only a 50% chance. And it's like, well, could you please just play discipline there? Like, because you see so many moments of hero plays which are so risky but sometimes still win. It depends on the context of the round. It's always just the same analogy I always give. It's just poker. Like, you can keep going all in and winning with bad hands, but that doesn't make it good. But sometimes you go all in with a bad hand, or sometimes you show a bad hand or play a bad hand to disguise your range, maybe. And PaperX are very good at disguising their range, because their range of play is so disgusting. But they don't have to do it every single fucking time on a 5v3. They would win more rounds, win more games, and win more tournaments if they stopped throwing 5v3s. Could you elaborate on disguising their range? So one of the things that people say about PaperX that is slightly true, but not fully true, is that like preparing against them is difficult because they don't have as many structured strats like other teams. But that's not the reason why. The reason why playing against them can be difficult is because they make decisions that don't make sense in situations you would expect. And sometimes doing things you don't expect can be a good thing because the opponent isn't expecting that outcome. But at the same time, you shouldn't do surprising things all the time, every single time you have an easy win condition in the round. Everything I talk about is win conditions with PaperX. Like, when I talk about ults, I talk about anti-ecos, I talk about 5v3s. In those moments, most of the time, it's better to just play for the win condition of those rounds, which is playing together, using your ults, playing together. I would prefer them to do their range plays, like disguising their range, when they're in normal gun round situations. Do stupid shit in gun rounds, and then when you have very easy win conditions that can just easily win you the round without having to do any shenanigans, then play to the win condition. Have you said these things to them when you were there with them? I didn't directly say that to players, but obviously I was talking to Alex about that kind of thing. The way that I would often communicate it was that they just need to add the structure in the rounds, the win condition kind of rounds. I never talked about this range idea with them at all, playing the range or anything. I didn't need to break it down like that or anything. I think it was mostly just like, can we just fix ults and anti-ecos? I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then also, obviously, when he's going to have a bit more time working with them over the year and hopefully the future. And in that case, I think Wender will eventually find a way, I hope, to figure out how to implement those things with them. If they can't learn that within the next year or two, then they will be a big what if team, because like they could still win a lot of trophies, but my question will always be, what if they just fix those things that I think are relatively simple to fix but somehow are very hard to implement. Big Tiger. We don't need to. It's a 4v3. We have flank. They have nowhere to play. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid. We now have to use Phoenix and Fade to secure the round. This is one of those things where, like, I do think that PaperX's weakest attribute might be understanding positional advantage. It's almost like you can see both their strength and their weakness play out at exactly the same time. Their strength is playing aggressive and playing completely in sync with each other. And you can see here, Jason's immediate reaction here is, Lish is probably saying, I'm gonna peek out smoke. And then like Jason's probably like, I'm gonna flash for you. And you could see them playing like a perfect team, like it's perfect teamwork. But it disregards completely the positional advantage they have. It's a 4v3 in which they have the perfect, like, they know their opponent has no post-plant ability, and so it just completely disregards their positional advantage. If I was like coming at it from like an academic angle and being like, why do PaperX not understand positional advantage? The first obvious thing would be, the unsubtle thing would be, they win still because of their aim. Because of mechanics, right? They're getting positive reinforcement to continue to do this stupid stuff in positional advantages. I think the more subtle thing is that they do things quite a lot off of intuition, aggressively, actually do use positional advantage. Like, they have a very good sense sometimes for when they do these kind of intuitive plays, quite often they're doing them off of instinct. And it usually is from positional advantages or like understanding that stuff. And so, like, I don't think they've ever sat down and analyzed when or when not they are in these positional advantages or not, because they just play so much of instinct. And so they probably think they're okay. Like, if I just asked Devi what was he thinking, he'd be like, I was just thinking big tiger. Like, I was just thinking I'm going to make a big bull play. Like, I think the easiest thing, I'd imagine when there's probably trying to help with it, is we're in a 4v3. Do we need to do anything, or can we just stand still? Standing still, it might actually be standing still might be PaperX's biggest weakness, to be fair. And therefore, they can't use positional advantages. Someone says positional advantages should be normal for a tier 1 team to know. I would agree. But that's the beauty of PaperX. For some reason, some of the things that I think are very easy, winning a 4v3, are somehow miraculously way harder for PaperX than it is for other teams. All of the hard stuff about knowing exactly the moments in which to do certain plays and push outs and aggression, they have locked down perfectly. And so, like, the frustrating thing for me as someone who's even, like, tried to work with them and worked with them a little bit is, like, if they could just somehow fix these easy things, in my opinion are quite easy, they would win tournament after tournament. And yet, for some reason, however they've grown to play the game and understand the game has put them in a position where it feels like, for whatever reason, that is not easy at all, and it's really difficult. And for whatever reason, the ways that I've kind of taught my teams how to play the game, that stuff is easy, and the stuff that PaperX do is a bit more difficult. Wendler is well aware of this stuff, so don't at him like I'm, revealing any truth to Wendler. But Wendler's probably main goal, I would say, if I was, working with him, would be, can you get us to figure out this basic shit? Like, this should be the easy stuff. I mean, I couldn't get them to win anti-ecos. I couldn't figure it out, so. Who's your favorite team to watch positionally? I'm going to bring it back to Leo. Leo is, as a player, the best positional player of all time. I don't think it's super close. I think from the duelist role, I think like Aspas definitely does probably do a lot of good positional plays though. Like, there's no way in a 4v3, if Leo's either of these players, he would never allow a Paranoia to come through here if he was playing Omen. And there's no chance he would ever try and push that smoke, you know what I mean? Like, he'd almost laugh at the idea. He probably wouldn't even bother doing it in ranked. Usually IGLs are pretty good positional players, but they can make blunders. Like, there's a lot of IGLs that blunder a lot. Like, they know what the correct play is, but they'll blunder because they're overthinking or not confident. Supportive players are usually considered quite good at that stuff too. But sometimes it stems from the fact that, like, because it's almost like how I think about, I was never never very good at aiming, so like I would basically learn the game through playing quite passive. Like I played decently positional, but it was mostly just passive. Whereas I think that like someone like Leo who has decent mechanics is able to choose between the two styles and usually would pick the correct decision, if that makes sense. Usually it would mean not doing too much, you know what I mean? I think in this meta, there's no team that comes like G2, for instance, have abandoned almost all of their like disciplined positional play. I don't know who is good anymore at that stuff. NRG probably. I think Gentlemates might be individually, their players probably don't have Leo levels, but as a team and as a structure, I think they have a pretty solid foundation and good coaching and structure to like understand when they should be pushing, when they should be chilling, when they should be retaking, when they should be like strong side goes in first, weak side delays, and all that kind of shit. Like, I think Gentlemates are probably the team that plays on meta whilst also playing a decently positional game. I've never talked about positional. Like, this is just some nonsense I've made up right now. So it's not like it even exists. It's just I wouldn't overthink this. I wouldn't go to Reddit and start saying, "Oh, Gentlemates are the best positional team in the world." It's like, what the? That doesn't mean anything. Oh, I was gonna say, can't I just skip an anti-eco? I can't. I'm not allowed to because it's PRX. We have a nice position in here. Like, if we're playing 3 off-site and 2 on-site, these two have got to be passive. We can't be reconning spawn and pushing. Apparently we can. What goes on here? How are we losing 5v? What? We're just peeking this for no reason.
He's green like the leaves. Meanwhile, what's happening? Offsite. Expero now shutting down. Forsaken. Divide. Dying to crazy guy range. This is very possible as Expero gets the weapon and the Guardian. Collected. Envy. Try clutch. Abort in the smoke. Marshall. He swings out and crazy guy gets the headshot. Marshall.
What?
Collected. Envy. Try to clutch. Come forward into the.
Why? Why? You remember I was talking about positional advantage? The other advantage you can have is time. You have a time advantage because you have the spike. That gives you the pressure of time. And PaperX also ignore time advantages. The excuse here would be that I've got a rifle, I should win this duel. And yet that's correct. But you also have a time advantage where you cannot lose the round. It's not because Ilya didn't see the person under him. This is fine. Losing to Xvero here in a 5v3, this kill was fine. It's unexpected. I don't blame this player here for not peeking this. It's just one of those things that happens sometimes. Like, this is fine. It's still a 4v2. Blaming the round on this is absolutely incorrect coaching. It's everything else afterwards and everything else before. It's this duel and then playing solo here. And then also playing to peek this smoke in a 1v1 when you have time. It's also the idea of Jason pushing this solo a little bit. I think that that's also a mistake, but